Hey, what's up, beautiful people? This video is about the lunar eclipse that's going to be happening on March 25th of 2024. And so this is big. It's big for everyone. I'm sure you can feel the energy. It's very intense right now. And I am filming this about 2 weeks prior, so you can have a little bit of time to really, sit into the energies that are coming in. You better get used to change because change is upon us. Now, eclipse seasons typically the energy starts to hit us within about a month before to about a month after. But really, between the 25th of March and the 8th of April is a portal, or what I like to call a wormhole of energy, where a lunar eclipse is all about endings. Solar eclipse is all about new beginnings, right? So we're starting with the lunar eclipse, clearing out and bringing in new frequencies and sort of new. We're stepping into the next chapter or the next level of the video game, if you want to look at it like that. So if you're doing the inner work, congratulations, you're going to be really feeling this, but also there's going to be a lot of stuff that's outside of our control with all the changes going on in the world. And everybody's going to be feeling this. This is going to initiate a massive, massive awakening of consciousness. So if there is anything that you are hiding or lying to yourself about, or not wanting to express, or not feeling safe enough to be able to do that, this is where you're going to discover the strength within you to be able to be honest with yourself. And one way or another, it's going to come out, whether it's through a tower moment, like tumultuous, like chaos and drama, or if you choose to sit into the chaos and find your center within, then the change is going to happen. Yes, it's going to be uncomfortable regardless of your approach or your mindset. Okay. What matters is your relationship to the discomfort. What really matters is how you allow yourself to be okay, because you understand that this change is clearing out dense vibrations and stuff that's no longer serving you, so that you could really step into your purpose. Now, if you don't know what your purpose is yet, or you're still feeling a little bit lost in that area, that identity shift is coming, because in the collective, we're all going through a shedding of the skin. So even if you have a clear understanding of what your purpose is, there's going to be a shift, or there's going to be an evolution of it. There's going to be a change, or there's going to be a deeper depth, right? Where change and shifting, or shedding of the skin, it's constantly clearing out older versions of ourselves and birthing new versions of ourselves. So that we're coming into a major death and rebirth, collectively as well as individually. And especially with this being in Libra and Aries, this is about our identity and our connection to relationships. So this one in particular is in Libra at 5 degrees. And so whenever we have an eclipse, especially in the single digits, this is the finalization of the learning lesson, especially because we're coming into the last third of this particular nodal shift in these signs. So this is where we master this energy. Now, as we master it, with great power comes great responsibility. So this is where, if there is any more codependency, if there is any more people pleasing, if there is any more ways that you are acting in misalignment with your own highest vibrational good, it's going to come out. Now, can we grow together in our relationships if we all decide to do the work? Yes, that's 100% absolutely true. You have to choose love over fear. Now, love for self, depending on the situation, it's entirely dependent upon what you have going on in your life and your chart and whatnot. Is going to depend on what choice is best for you. And the people that pass these cosmic tests, if you will be the ones, I feel, that this is where we're truly at our soul level, like picking our zombie apocalypse buddy, right? Our best friends, if you want to use, soulmates. I don't really like the term or expression twin flame, because there's a lot of shenanigans around that whole world. But the person that you feel like you're meant to live your life with, that you feel deeply connected to, that you have a lot in common, that you can your power couples. A lot of power couples are coming together. A lot of karmic relationships are coming to an ending. So embrace the change, embrace the unknown, because whatever is shifting and changing, it's teaching you something about your relationship to relationships. Okay, the opposite of Libra is Aries. Aries is the who am I, or is the I am, I should say. It's our individuation in this life. We have Chiron there, and with the North Node here too. You know, like we're needing to go into our wounds and really connect to our inner child and our deep inner being and see where our attachments are and why, and see where we really feel alive inside and where we feel like it's not really fully authentic anymore. Authenticity, there's an evolution of our authenticity, all right? Our identity was one way, and especially since 2020, it's been speeding up and getting much more powerful. And this year is no exception. It's speeding up again. In fact, this is the next sort of 2020 2.0, if you will, with the speed and the massive amount of change that's going to be going on. So we have Pluto here at almost 2 degrees of Aquarius. We've never seen this in our lifetime. So Pluto is literally making everybody feel like we're on shaky ground. Everything is a what if, right? Nobody really knows what to do. There's so much, there's an overwhelming amount of information that's impossible to really know, if you're using your analytical mind, what is right or what is not right. Also, all this information is going to validate whatever it is that you're wanting to look for. It's called a confirmation bias. So if there's trauma there that's inside you, you're going to find the information that's going to confirm that trauma. Or when you learn this and understand this within yourself, you'll start looking within, and not really, like, maybe you watch something like this for some confirmation, but you won't really need this kind of stuff when you're really in your heart, because it's a knowing. We're going from a believing to a knowing. And the believing to a knowing is essentially a thought process to an embodiment process, right? We're going, like, this eclipse season is essentially solidifying a certain level of belief to knowing, knowledge to wisdom, intellect to embodiment of our heart's desire, our heart's understanding of who we are, and our ancestral life purpose. Those of us that have come into this, that are living right now, we all have a purpose, and we can choose, our own light or our own dark, right? And that's a lot of what we pay our attention to, is going to influence that. Just like our gut is influenced by our environment. You have a good, healthy gut, you've got energy and good to go. And if you have a really unhealthy gut, which is fairly common right now because of all the poisons that's being thrown at us, right? So highly recommended to detoxify around this time. Okay, my favorite, deepest detoxification process is combo. The frog poison, it's very, very effective. It's very deep, and it'll clean you out, lickety split. Of course, you can do whatever you like. There's a lot of options out there, but feel into your heart about what's right for you, and you'll be going in the right direction. Okay, and we have Venus here that's exalted in Pisces. That is in an inconjunct to the South Node. And we also have Jupiter that's now at 15 degrees of Taurus. That is in inconjunct to the South Node as well, with a sextile between the two. So having the lower benefic exalted, sextile Jupiter, which is the greater benefic. Now, Jupiter in Taurus, that makes us feel everything in our physical body, very much so. And it also makes us really want to understand our desires, right? It's like, I want all these things, but but the world is like, well, you can't have these things. Well, who says so? What are your beliefs around lack, right? This is really giving us an opportunity to see where we're holding ourselves back and stepping in our own way. And with this yod, which is 2 in conjunction, a sextile, going directly to the South Node, this being an eclipse, this is uprooting something that has been long overdue for us to clear out. Now, because it's a lesser benefic, sextile the greater benefic, and the greater benefic is just 5 degrees away from its great conjunction with Uranus, which is a major deal. This is actually a sort of precognition moment where it's showing us really first we got to clear it out. Then we got to take the next step to step into the next chapter. And then once we do that whole process, then we get the big prize, right? With Jupiter and Uranus. But the surprise is going to come out of left field, out of nowhere. And it's going to probably either change our DNA or shift our physical being. Now, it depends on where that is specifically in your chart, but you can bet that you're going to be feeling a lot of stuff in your body, okay? Allow it to move through you. And again, this is a great time to detox, even to fast, to sit with yourself, to slow down. I mean, I think even if you're going to be trying to go and move, it's going to be very difficult to do that. All right. So, of course, we also have North Node at 15 degrees with the South Node there as well, and Chiron at 18 degrees, respectively, in Aries. We also have Mercury in Aries, too. So our communication, and Mercury is in its shadow period, that's going to be going retrograde on April Fool's Day, April 1st. So with this being said, all right, Mercury in Aries it wants to know, it's impulsive. But when it's sitting here communicating with Chiron, and it's going to retrograde back over Chiron as well, this is where the Mercury Chiron conjunction is really throwing in our face the shit that we need to throw out, or the shit that we need to accept, or the shit that we need to embody and honor within ourselves to step fully into our purpose. And that's where this is deep vulnerability. That's really the name of the game with this eclipse season. And so the first part is letting go. And then once we let go and we allow it to, move through our body, then coming into the next eclipse, which is April 8th, and I'll make a separate video on that, that is where we sort of get catapulted into some new situation, which can feel scary. I'm just getting this image in my mind of like learning how to like water ski or like snowboard or something like that, right? If it's your first time, you start moving and woo, that you gotta kind of like, balance yourself. And for me, like when I try to water ski, I go up, I go forward, and I go down. Like I'm not very awesome at water sports. Snowboarding, I'm a little bit better, but we need to find this new balance within our proprioception, right? And it's going to feel a little rocky because these are all new experiences through our senses. Our senses are being heightened. Our extrasensory perceptions are being activated in new ways. You could have some psychic abilities or capacities being cracked open at this point. And if you're not familiar with that, a lot of people that are not tuned into this kind of stuff, when this starts happening, they're going to start feeling crazy. Like we're seeing all over the internet, all kinds of weird stuff happening. People are going to start going a little banana sandwich, you know what I mean? Like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And this is where we have to have compassion and give people the resources to be able to navigate this stuff, because it's going to be weird. And everybody has these things, in their own way. And a lot of us that are here to teach that, have been doing this work to learn this stuff I've been doing it for the last 14 years. And I'm super grateful now that I did. But I digress. So we also have, let's see, you know what? I'm going to go Saturn here at 12 degrees. Now Saturn is in its second phase going through this sign. So now we're stepping into our responsibility in this Saturnian energy, and it's conjunct Venus. So while the lesser benefic is here to support the clearing away, it's going to feel very karmic, right? Because Saturn is like, ooh, you have to feel this, like this is a karmic lesson that in this lifetime you are meant to dissolve or adsolve, or you have to pay it in your karmic energy. Okay, so that's speaking with Venus and saying, hey, like it's time to move through it. But it's also, with it being so close to Venus, it's sextile to Jupiter, and Saturn sextile to Jupiter is a very promising, like, okay, we're going to make it big enough, and as long as you know how to surrender, if you have self-discipline, you're going to be able to move through it, and you're going to get stronger and more empowered for it. Now Mars also just came into Pisces here at 1 degree of Pisces. And it is sesquiquadrate to the South Node and semi-sextile to the North Node. So Mars, this is like past life energies, clearing out toxic masculinity. And Mars in Pisces, the higher vibration of it is like the spiritual warrior. The lower vibration of it is toxic masculinity, like the blame, the projection, the desire, or trying to control outcomes, and the circumstances are going to be so back and forth and like malleable, because Pisces is it's a mutable sign, so it's constantly changing, right? So we have to learn to be flexible in this process and to let go of the need or desire to want to control situations, because there's a lot of things that are not in our control. And that's also what Pluto is teaching us as well. But good thing is Pluto is trine this moon and sextile this sun, which is really beautiful, because let's face it, Pluto is death and rebirth, and we begin to hit hard with this Pluto energy. So to have a really positive aspect in this is the universe saying, okay, it's time to shift, it's time to grow. So the stuckness, granted, the yod here, it's going to feel very faded, very karmic, like, and that might be difficult to accept, because sometimes these karmic and faded energies are difficult, or this could be collective. Suddenly, some big warnings are coming out, or this could be where something gets shut down, right? Which sparks a whole fundamental change, particularly in the United States, or maybe something that's in preparation for what's going to happen in the United States is going to happen. So Black Moon Lilith at 20 degrees of Virgo as well. And let's see here. Black Moon Lilith. It is trine to Jupiter and trine to Uranus, which is amazing. And it's opposite to Venus. Okay, so Black Moon Lilith opposite to Venus. That is, now it's not exactly opposite, but this is looking at where our desires are, or is our desire for instant gratification greater than our desire to live centered, disciplined, open-hearted life? Or are we being ruled by our lower chakras, and are we not honoring what we need, especially with things that we consume? Like, all these distractions are really creating like massive amounts of consumption, whether it's information, EMF, food, pesticides, drugs, pharmaceuticals, supplements, plant medicine, all these things. Anything that changes your consciousness, it's got to go. I mean, and I'm even talking about plant medicine too much. Like, we got to be careful of that right now, because you're opening portals, and you're gonna be like, there's so many people that are not really doing it in a sacred way. Now we got to be really, really careful about who we're working with. And because we are so open, when you do this, you need to take the time to integrate. Like, if you're just going and going and going, like twice a month or once a month even, or doing multiple different medicines at a time, you're gonna get so open. You could go into like delusion or illusion mode, like not really being in this reality. And then it's going to take a massive amount of time to integrate all these layers of shifting and clearing. And you may take on entities, right? Spiritual entities and things that you're not really ready to handle. Right now, it's about slow and steady wins the race with the growth and the opening, because it's happening naturally, so big and so deep and so intense, without any help or support from alternate states of consciousness. Now, if you're in a really rough place, like, you find someone good to help support you, but breath work is excellent, right? Ice baths and saunas and ozone therapy. There are all these different ways that you can naturally shift the physical body, and clean out, the vessel as well, through nutrition and through just, stimulating things without altering your state of consciousness. Okay. But I digress. So Uranus is sitting at 20 degrees, the conjunction. Now we are just shy of a month away from that. So the energy of the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is gonna, that feeling, it feels like something big is coming. Well, it's the collaboration between the total solar eclipse and the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction coming in April. April is going to be the month of months, probably the biggest month of our entire lives. And this is preparation to receive sort of the mission or the downloads to live the highest version of ourselves. Because really, this year is sort of the last year where we're going to be consciously aware of the split. So this is the year to get rid of all your bad habits. This is the year to honor who you are and to allow the growth to come in and happen. and really open your heart and live through that Christ consciousness. Because next year is when we really start to the birthing process is done, and now we're building this new world. Okay, a lot of change, a lot of evolution, a lot of growth, but we're simultaneously going through multiple layers and stages of death and rebirth, and that is not fun. And this is also why we need community. The community aspect, the structure and the organization of community is so important in order for us to really become a force to be reckoned with. And if you would like to become a part of the community that I'm building, please comment below with your email address, and I will put you on my mailing list, and let's start coordinating and getting together. I have a lot of resources all over the United States, and we're doing a lot of things behind the scenes right now. And if you resonate with my message, I would love to work with you. So if you've listened this far to this message, thank you so much for following me and for connecting with me and for just being a part of the tribe. Even even though in the last few years it's been a little bit scattered, like I'm coming back into after a lot of dark night energy. I'm actually writing a book about it right now. So got a lot of crazy stories to tell. So I hope you enjoyed this and it helped you out. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. And until the next video, I'll see you soon. Stay safe, and I hope